You had mentioned that you did not want to paralyze your players with too much information, but I would suspect at least after last night there'd be a bit of a laundry list of things to do better.
No, we didn't paralyze them at all. I think, first of all, give them credit. That's the best game by far they have played against us all year. They have. That was by far their most aggressive game. They came at us very hard in all three zones. So it wasn't that we overanalyzed or gave them that. Not at all. Had nothing to do with it. Just that they came really hard. So did we respond the way we wanted to respond? No, we didn't. So that's, again, give them credit for the way they played, and now it's up to us to make sure that we make some minor adjustments and make sure that we're going to answer the bell tomorrow.
Just to clarify that question, what I meant was
today,
did you have to pick and choose what your priorities were to improve on so they're not paralyzed for game 2?
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. No, actually, we just had a talk with the players today, and we talked about those things. So we'll straighten out some things tomorrow morning on the video. I want it to be fresh in their minds, but it won't be. We won't overanalyze it. So do we have to make some adjustments to the way we played? Absolutely. So that's our job, and then the rest has to come from the players. But they were very honest today. They know they didn't play their A game. But again, if we go in there and beat them 7-0, they're going to come out hard, right? They're going to come at us. So we certainly didn't see their best. We saw it last night. Give them credit.
Rick, what would you see as some of the similarities in the games of Josh Morrissey and Cale Makar?
Both elite skaters, elite hockey IQ, elite skills. They have that innate ability to know when to jump in and when not to jump in. They're both reliable defensively. They are, but it's that unique ability, that elite ability to skate. Right, they're so fast, and their anticipation of when to use their speed. Right, they see a plate, they're gone. You watch how many times with the Avs as soon as they get that puck, Cale's gone, and the same thing with Mo with our team. So, but it's the hockey IQ, it's the anticipation, and then it's the skating ability to back it up.
They were showing some analysis of Morrissey last night and just sort of how he would jump in and then go, well, it doesn't look like it's there, and then he's right back. It's just always thinking about it, but
it's got a high hockey IQ. Yep, high hockey IQ, the reads of the play. Yep.
Obviously, 6 goals against, or the way that Colorado played differently than the other games this year is something that maybe is a challenge for you going forward. Do you consider any lineup changes after that game?
Not at this point. We'll discuss it again later with the coaches, and again, we'll look at. We're going to take our time. We're not in a panic to make any decisions, so we'll talk about it again today and tomorrow morning.
Just on that front, is there any update on Morgan Barron
He's not skating yet, so he's probably still another week away.
Okay. Goes without saying, winning one game that doesn't end a series, and your group would know about that, right? Because, you won game 1 last year as well. Do you think that very different circumstances, obviously, and like you said, this team's in a very different place, but just having won game 1 and then seeing what happens, do you think that has guys maybe even more guarded than they otherwise would be?
I wouldn't say more guarded. I think it's more just be aware, right? So we won a game 1 last year, and then we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit, the pedal in the second game. It's the exact opposite. We have to put the foot on the pedal tomorrow. So it's the exact opposite circumstances, regardless of the outcome of that first game. It's how we're going to approach the second game. Again, Vegas came out at us hard in the second period. Well, we've got to come out hard tomorrow, right? We do. We got to put the foot back on the pedal and get going again.
When you talk about things that you maybe look to clean up a bit, obviously they had the 2 power plays and they scored on both of them. We know they have a lethal power play, but during the regular season, you guys did a fairly good job on that. Would that be one of the areas that, obviously staying out of the box is the best way to avoid that, right? But how do you maybe try and clean things up against such a lethal power play?
Well, we only took 2, so, that's not, they only took 2, so, that will be addressed. How do we clean it up for sure?
Rick, I know the publicly available analytics were pretty hard on Colorado's goaltending yesterday, but do you think your team's been given enough credit for the way it generated offense yesterday and the way that it finished its offense?
Our offense? Yeah, no, we scored 7 goals. We did some good things. Both power plays looked really good. We didn't score in the first one, but it looked really good. And then we got a goal in the second one, so that was good. We like we like the chances we created, regardless of how many went in. We just didn't like how many we gave up. The chances against, right? That's not our team to give up that many shots and that many chances. That's not our team. So give them credit, but now we've got to correct some things. But yeah, so we're very confident with our offense. We are, but that being said, we have to create more offense from good defense, not from scrambles, which they were coming down and then we got the puck and went north. We'd rather spend a little less time in our zone and a lot more time in their zone. We spent way too much unnecessary time in our zone last night.
Nino Niederreiter said to me at one point this year that he thought it was that line's job to kind of consistently go out, execute your blueprint, and kind of set the standard for everyone else to follow. I thought they had a great game last game. Do you think, quietly, the Toffoli, Ehlers, and Monahan line kind of did the best job of executing your blueprint and being quiet in an extremely loud game?
Yeah, I think that's a good analysis. Yeah, I think even Adam Adams' line last night, they got caught. They gave up too many chances off the rush. They got caught being a little too aggressive at times, so we got to clean that up. But Sean's line is very reliable at both ends of the ice. They didn't score last night, but they had some really good looks, and they really weren't in a lot of trouble in our zone. They of all the lines, they weren't. So you give them credit for that.
Connor Hellebuyck called that one of the sweatiest games he's ever played last night.
Well, we were over 6.5 minutes in our zone. We're normally down around 4, right? So that's why he's a little sweaty.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Like I think Adam Lowry was saying last night, he can let in goals, but he's always the same. Have you ever seen him thrown off his game?
No, none. I remember the first time I was exposed to that was last year in Detroit. He gave up 6. We lost in Detroit, and I was talking to him after. He said, yeah, I was good. I was fine. And I love that about him. I love that, right? They're not going to rattle him. So I'm saying to myself, wow, this guy, okay, that's unique, right? Most goalies would be beating themselves up. Geez, I gave up 6. We lost him. No, that was pretty good. I love that. I love it because he's such a competitor, right? He has a tremendous amount of faith in his abilities, and I love that about him.
I wanted to ask about one of my favorite plays. It's a small moment, but on Adam Lowry's first goal, the 2-on-1, Nino Niederreiter's stick explodes, and then he gets a piece of Cale Makar. A little bit of a pick maybe to set up that 2-on-1.
Yeah,
what does that say about his heads-up play?
Well, it was a heads-up play, but again, we had too many battles down around the hash marks, and we weren't getting it out. If we're going to have those battles, we want them up there with the blue line, and we want the support coming from exactly how we wanted it, coming from underneath. That's where the speed's going to come from, and Apple's joining from the other side. But you got to be able, you got to win that battle at the blue line. Then you've got to have the support. So that it worked out okay.
And then going from traditionally 4 minutes or so of zone time to over 6. I mean, is that Colorado's entries? Is that the second wave? Is that just how you guys were defending in your zone? Like, what's going into that big of a change?
It's their entries, and they got in way too easy, and we didn't pick up that second wave of the defensemen coming enough, so they were able to get in, and it wasn't one and done. Sometimes those rushes, you're one and you're done. We get the puck and go. It was a rush, a chance, and then we were scrambling too much. So we didn't end enough plays. We didn't get that puck after the first initial rush, first initial chance. Then it's up to us to battle harder to get that puck and get it going north, get it going the other way. We didn't do that enough last night.
So the repair is probably a full team thing. You need all 5 guys for that, right?
Absolutely.
And Rick, just going back to Connor Hellebuyck, he was just in here saying basically he expects to stop every puck. I mean, what does it mean to have a goalie with that kind of mentality, and what does it do for your group as a whole?
we just love that about him. We do, and the guys know well. First of all, he's a great goalie. He is, and he has that character and that belief in himself to back it up, and the players know that. So, like, remember Grant Fuhrer, man? He'd give up a bad goal, and he'd give up 3, and wouldn't bother him one bit. Like so, yeah. Connor's like that. Like if it's a goal, it's a goal. He'll battle back. It doesn't rattle him one bit. Doesn't change the way he plays. Doesn't change the way he approaches it. He just keeps battling in there.
I don't think there's a lot of secrets about how to play the game and how to get better puck management, that general term that's always used. I know it's a big emphasis for you guys. What's one technical thing that you guys can do structure-wise that would facilitate better puck management?
We can support the puck better, and we can move it a lot quicker. It's that we were slow moving the puck. We didn't have enough quick support on the puck. We just looked very slow with the puck. So, from a technical point of view, we have to move it quicker, and we have to move to support it better. And we didn't do that. There's too big a gap at times, and the guy getting the puck had no support on the puck. So we've got to make sure when that puck we're moving. We were just too slow to react. We were too slow moving it, too slow to support it.
How do you balance that with knowing the speed of Colorado and their forecheck
Yep.
is going to create some of that as well?
Well, we've got to get back harder as a group, and we've got it, but when we get it, we can't be looking around and what do I do with it? We got to know what we're doing before we get there, and then know that the support is there, and then we're going to play a lot faster. We're looking at guys, we're waiting, and we're looking for a second option, and they're so quick on you, you don't have that time for that second option. You got to get it, you got to move it.